Hi and welcome to the vlog. How are you all? I have spent many frustrating hours doing the child schedule, but I've done it for the rest of this academic year, so all the way up until the end of July. Took forever. It took absolutely forever because child schedules, co-parenting schedules, I think that's what I'm talking about. A co-parenting schedule is not necessarily an easy thing. We have, over time, I say we, I mean I, because actually this has been my work, not my ex-husband's work. I have, over time, managed to develop a schedule that seems to work reasonably well for us. It's not perfect, but it's reasonably okay. In it we have a 50-50 split. That wasn't actually supposed to be from the beginning. He is a stay-at-home dad. He has the main parental responsibility. I was working when we split up and I'm now in startup business mode. So our responsibilities are very different. However, every single attempt of coming up with a child schedule that I felt was fair based on our responsibilities ended up getting quite a lot of pushback. So we have settled into a 50-50. The one thing I'm insisting on is that on the weeks when I have Alice, or the days that I have Alice, I don't pick her up until 5 p.m. I need that working day. But apart from that, we are now in a pattern where 4 nights during the school week, we split the girls and we have them 2 nights each. So I have Alice for 2 nights, I have Elin for 2 nights, and he has them vice versa. And every other weekend, one of us has both girls for 3 nights. Extremely simple schedule, it's predictable, I know what's happening, school knows what's happening, Elin's school transport know what's happening, dad knows what's happening, the girls can have a pattern. But plans, contact with the enemy, you know, all of that. The enemy, making it sound very sinister. It isn't always that simple. And this pattern has been completely thrown out of the window for most of this year already. And we are halfway through March. So the first thing that happened was that Elin got COVID end of January. And then I got COVID. And then Alice got COVID. And then I had a period when I had Elin for a couple of weeks while Dad had Alice. And now we're back into the pattern. And in a couple of months' time, Elin has surgery. And not only that, but for the next month, we are swapping weekends back and forth. I have been invited away for a girls' weekend on a weekend that Dad should be child-free, but I asked him and he very kindly agreed to have them. And in return, I'll let him have his birthday weekend child-free. So what's going to be happening is that he's going to have the girls for 2 weekends in a row. I'm then going to have them for 2 weekends in a row. And then we're back into the pattern. And then Elin has her operation. And the operation is throwing everything out because in total, Elin has a convalescence time of 6 weeks. At least 2 of those are going to be in hospital. And she's going to have to be isolating before that. I'm kind of counting on Elin being in hospital for 2.5 weeks. And with a PCR test and isolation time prior to that, that's going to be 3 weeks that Elin is with me solid and Alice is with Dad solid. In return for me doing the hospital, he's going to have Elin when she's recovering at home, and that's going to be a month. The schedule doesn't remain predictable and pattern-like for very long periods at a time. It keeps being thrown out. Do I have any tips and tricks for how to do this? You're gonna have to talk. And you're gonna have to be talking calmly and politely. But it's very simple. He came to me and he said, I have been invited for a New Year's Eve party. Would it be okay if I had that weekend free? Yeah, not a problem. I came to him and I said, I've been invited away a weekend in April. Would it be okay if I had that weekend free? Not a problem. if either of us had gone in with, you're going to have to swap a weekend, that wouldn't have worked, right? But as long as we give each other prior warning and we ask politely and it is doable, like if I had had other plans, then I would have said no and vice versa. But having given each other time in advance, we've been able to easily accommodate. So far, we've had no issues with the weekends. We've had a lot of other issues, but the weekends haven't been an issue. Other things, I am having to compromise quite a lot. I'm having to work around quite a lot. I get up stupidly early in the mornings to work, or I sit and work late at night, or I sit in bed and work as Alice goes to sleep next to me, or Elin goes to sleep next to me, things like that. Not ideal, but it has saved a lot of arguments and a lot of hassle and a lot of rewriting of schedule. And because there is now a predictable pattern to fall back on, I am saving hours, and I mean hours of time, because it is a nightmare to chopping and doing this, that and the other. I could make a 60-40-ish schedule work, I think, but even that is not necessarily all that simple. So it was really difficult to get a schedule set up in the first place. I think my advice really is to approach it calmly, both the writing of the schedule and communication about the schedule. Try to find common ground, try to find compromises that feel good for both of you. And on the whole, I can only speak for me, but on the whole, I feel that this is working now. I can plan accordingly. I don't have to throw all my plans up in the air all the time. I know what's going to happen, and we don't need to have arguments or discussions about it. It can roll. For me, it's really important to visualize it. So I'm sitting here with a color-coded Excel sheet. I have shown this in much more detail in other vlogs, so I know that you can't really see what's going on the screen, but I basically have an Excel spreadsheet where with every month split up into weeks. I have a column for when Elin is in school, for when she has a carer, for which parent she's with. I have Alice school, I have Alice parent, and then I have a column for extra, which would be Alice's theatre school, if I plan to travel away or go away somewhere for a weekend, for example, or various appointments that happen, and I just color code them and make a little note. And that way I get an overview that works for me. The color coding is what works for me. I then put everything into a Google Calendar that Dad and I share. So it goes in that Google Calendar, we both have it on our phones, we can both immediately see what's on there and what's happening. The third thing I do is I have a different Excel sheet for school, and it's a massively simplified version where I have morning, lunch, afternoon. Lunch because Dad and I still go in and feed Elin in school, so which days I go in and which days Dad go in, that's the lunch time. And then for the morning, it says Dad transport or Mom pick up, and the same for the afternoon, depending on where Elin is that day. I email that through to school, they share it with transport, and then everybody have a printed out schedule that they can look at, and that works really well. The reason I don't want to use that schedule for my visualization is because it doesn't include Alice, and it's a little bit too simple. A lot of timings can work out normally, like if it's a school day, then you know, I pick Elin up when she finishes school, or I pick Alice up, as I say, at 5 o'clock, and that timing remains. But if it's a school holiday, we can change those timings around, and it can be the morning, it can be midday, it can be the afternoon, and it just helps. Having that visualization really helps. For the time being, we are doing the same thing over school holidays of one child for 2 nights, the other child for 2 nights, both or neither children for 3 nights. We did make some changes over Christmas because for me Christmas Eve is important, Christmas Day is important to him. As I said, he wanted New Year's Eve free. My birthday falls between Christmas and New Year's Eve, so I wanted my birthday free. Like, we still make changes like that. But on the whole, if there isn't like a big deal thing going on a school holiday, right now I'm sticking to the pattern because it's just simpler. And again, I then know what I can expect. I can plan ahead. If I need a working day, I can set up childcare for Alice or a carer for Elin. It's not easy to co-parent, but I'm trying my best to make it work. And if you have any questions, then by all means pop them in the comment field below. If you have any tips, things that you've done that have made co-parenting easier, again, do the same. Use the comment field and share with me and with the other single parents out there who need a little bit of encouragement when it comes to sorting out the child schedule. It's, as I say, not easy, but it can be made to work. On this channel, I literally share what life is like as a single special needs mum, what life is like with a child with complex needs, what life is like as a small business owner, startup, and all the other fun things I do. I'm an avid bullet journaler as well, so I share a lot of organization tips, and I'm just really trying to show that actually life is not difficult, even if it is complex at times. Elin's a wonderful, wonderful child. If you've not seen any of the vlogs with her, go in and have a look. She's hilarious, funny. For all that she's non-verbal, she's got a wicked sense of humour. She loves music. And Alice is definitely a star in the rising, my little 5-year-old. So go and check out the other vlogs if you haven't yet. If you are new, welcome here. It's fantastic to have you. And thank you for watching. Have a beautiful day. Bye.